Have you ever wondered why, when the final sound of the day fades into nothingness, a sudden and profound sense of unease begins to creep in? We find ourselves standing at the edge of a vast, silent ocean where the echoes of our own thoughts become far too loud to ignore completely. Why do we feel this desperate urge to fill every waking moment with music, podcasts, or the hollow chatter of voices that do not really matter? Is it the silence itself that we fear, or is it the heavy weight of what that silence inevitably brings to the very surface of life? We are running away from the quiet, terrified of the confrontation that happens when there is nothing left to distract us from our own restless souls. In the stillness, the mask we wear for the world begins to crumble, leaving us exposed to the raw and unfiltered reality of our inner existence. We scroll through endless feeds, seeking a digital pulse to prove we are still connected, yet the blue light only deepens our internal sense of isolation. The modern world has taught us that being alone is a failure, and being quiet is a void that must be filled immediately at all costs. But in this frantic race to avoid the void, we are losing the very essence of what it means to be truly present with our own selves. Our society has become a massive machine, designed to produce constant noise, a relentless stream of data that keeps us from ever looking deeply inside ourselves. We have become addicts of distraction, tethered to our devices like puppets, dancing to the rhythm of every new notification that rings in our tired ears. Imagine a heart wrapped tightly in glowing wires, each pulse interrupted by the sharp sting of a social media alert demanding our immediate and constant attention. We walk through crowded streets with headphones clamped over our ears, creating a sonic barrier to keep the outside world and our inside world far apart. Our faces are tense, our eyes are fixed on screens, as we navigate a sea of people while remaining completely disconnected from the shared human experience. Facing silence feels like facing a mountain of unanswered questions and old wounds that we have carefully buried under layers of superficial and loud digital noise. We use these external stimuli like water poured into a cracked jar, hoping to fill a void that can never be satisfied by external noise alone. The more we pour in, the more we realize that the leakage is coming from within, a spiritual thirst that no amount of media can quench. We are terrified of the screams of our own internal emptiness, so we turn up the volume of the world to drown them out completely today. Every moment of downtime becomes a threat, a space where the ghosts of our past and the anxieties of our future might finally speak to us. So we keep moving, keep clicking, and keep consuming, believing that as long as we are busy, we are safe from the truth of our hearts. Silence is not merely the absence of sound. It is a cruel and honest mirror that reflects the parts of us we try to hide away. When the external world goes quiet, the internal volume of our deepest thoughts and hidden fears begins to rise to an almost deafening level for us. Look at the surface of a still lake. It appears peaceful, but beneath that calm exterior lie shadows of strange and forgotten shapes from our past. These are the manifestations of our subconscious, the memories and regrets that wait for the noise to stop before they dare to emerge into the light. We look into the mirror of our souls and find that the reflection is a stranger, someone we have ignored for far too many years of life. It is a painful realization that we may not actually know the person who inhabits this body, the one who breathes alone in the dark night. Regrets over paths not taken and words left unsaid begin to dance in the shadows, demanding to be acknowledged and felt at long last by us. The fear of the future looms large in the quiet, a spectre of uncertainty that we usually drown out with the frantic pace of our lives. We are afraid to admit that we are lost, and silence provides the perfect map to show us exactly how far we have wandered away today. Our memories flicker like old film reels, grainy and distorted, reminding us of who we used to be before the world became so incredibly loud. Each frame reveals a piece of our identity that we have traded for convenience, a fragment of the self that was lost in the constant noise. To stand in the silence is to stand naked before the truth, stripped of the armor of busyness that we use to protect ourselves every day. It is a vulnerable place, but it is also the only place where true self-discovery can ever begin to take root and grow strong and tall. There is a thin and delicate line that separates the crushing weight of loneliness from the healing power of voluntary and peaceful solitude in our lives. Loneliness is a gaping wound, a feeling of being disconnected and forgotten, even when we are standing in the middle of a very large crowd. It is possible to be surrounded by many people at a noisy party and yet feel more alone than if we were on a high mountain. Solitude is a choice to be with oneself, a sacred space where we can finally recharge and find our inner compass once again in the quiet. When we embrace the quiet, we transform the prison of isolation into a sanctuary of peace where the soul can finally breathe and expand its wings. Look at the vastness of the natural world. The ancient forests and the deep oceans do not need noise to prove their incredible and lasting worth. They exist in a state of majestic silence, a reminder that there is a profound strength in simply being still and present in the current moment. Blaise Pascal once noted that all of humanity's problems stem from our inability to sit quietly in a room all by ourselves for a long time. When we stop fearing the act of being alone, we begin to tap into a reservoir of strength that we never knew existed. Deep within us, it is like a seed buried deep in the dark, cold earth. It does not fear the silence of the soil, for that is where growth begins. In that darkness, the seed gathers the nutrients it needs to break through the surface and reach for the light of a brand new day. The price of inner growth is high, and the currency we must pay is our willingness to sit with the things that are hard to say. It requires a rare kind of courage to do nothing, to say nothing, and to simply exist in the raw presence of our own inner being. We are like tightrope walkers balanced between two cliffs, moving slowly through the mist of our own uncertainty with every single step we take forward. Below us is the abyss of the unknown, but above us is the vast sky of potential that only opens up in the deep quiet. Think of the art of kintsugi, where broken pottery is mended with gold, making the scars the most beautiful part of the whole object for everyone. Silence is the gold that fills the cracks in our souls, turning our past traumas and broken pieces into a masterpiece of resilience and beauty. In the stillness, the fragmented parts of our identity begin to gravitate toward each other, finding a harmony that noise could never provide for us. We learn to listen to the whispers of our intuition, the small voice that is usually drowned out by the roar of the modern crowd. This is where creativity is born, in the fertile ground of a mind that is not constantly being bombarded by external and useless data streams. Great ideas do not come from the chaos of the marketplace. They come from the quiet corners of a contemplative and peaceful human mind today. We find the answers to questions we didn't even know we were asking, and we discover a sense of purpose that feels truly authentic and like a single candle burning. Steadily, in a vast and darkened hall, our inner light becomes clearer when the distractions are finally removed from sight. The flame may flicker, but it will not go out, for it is fueled by the deep and inexhaustible well of our own true nature. Do not be afraid of the quiet spaces within your soul. They are not empty voids, but rather a warm invitation to come back home. Imagine the person who was once terrified of the silence, now sitting peacefully in a room filled with soft and golden morning light and warmth. The fear has been replaced by a quiet joy, a realization that being alone with oneself is the greatest luxury one can ever afford to. Watch the sun set slowly over the horizon, painting the sky in shades of purple and orange as the world prepares for sleep tonight, peacefully. There is a profound beauty in the transition from light to dark, a natural rhythm that we have forgotten in our neon-lit and loud world. Silence does not take anything away from you. It actually gives you back the parts of yourself that you have lost along the long way. It is the place where the truth begins, where the noise stops and the reality of your existence finally takes its rightful center stage now. Are you ready to reach out and turn off the noise, to put down the phone and listen to the rhythm of your own heart? Can you brave the mirror and look yourself in the eye, accepting every flaw and every shadow as a part of your unique and beautiful? The silence is waiting for you, a loyal friend that has been there all along, patient and steady in its quiet and eternal presence today. Take a deep breath, close your eyes, and listen to the beautiful symphony of the stillness that resides at the very core of your being.